Now, Mozambique has been listed by the International Monetary Fund as one of 6 countries in Africa that's in debt distress. So, in other words, its borrowing is outstripping predictions of the country's ability to pay that money back. Now, Mozambique has felt the ire of the IMF before. It's not the first time. In the past, it was over alleged misuse of a loan that the government is now investigating. The story actually began 5 years ago. Back in 2013, under the previous president, Amanda Guebuza, Mozambique borrowed $2 billion for a tuna fishing project and maritime security. Nobody knows, though, where that money was spent. And then in 2016, the IMF and other donors froze the funding, accusing Mozambique of hiding its debts. And then last year, an investigation by the auditing firm Kroll found that $500 million was unaccounted for. Well, the state prosecutor has now launched legal proceedings that she's facing some obstacles in her job. Sophie Kenya has been talking to Mozambique's president, Filipe Nyusi, about the scandal that's dented his country's reputation.
When
it all started, I sent my Prime Minister to Washington, D.C., along with the Finance Minister. Later, I went there myself and showed my face, in order for us to deal with the matter and see how it should be dealt with. We decided to do an audit. We agreed with IMF that the process should be led by the Public Prosecutor's Office.
But when the Attorney General says she's not getting any cooperation from the state-owned companies that have been accused, when she says that, does it not look like there's a reluctance from government to deal with this whole issue?
That's what I want to get to. We can't rush to conclusions. We chose with IMF and Sweden, who financed the process, and chose an independent auditor. It was not the government's choice. Kroll was chosen and worked with the public prosecutor. They worked on it. They produced a report. There has been a delay, but it wasn't the government's fault. The government continues to support the process.
Who has been prosecuted over it?
I'm not the right person. I do not want to usurp the legal powers and dictate the next step. I have learned to be patient. These cases are never simple. The one to make the decision on when it should be concluded must be the public prosecution. If I imposed a decision, I would violate the law and the Constitution of the Republic of Mozambique. The summary report that was made public was clear that other banks need to be heard. Not just national, but international banks. It is a process that is still going on. We need to decide who is responsible. The report that was made must be confronted.
A number of things that have been happening have not been investigated fully. People like, say, journalists or people who have dissenting voices, some have been kidnapped, beaten. What can you tell Mozambicans today? How safe are they? And surely can they trust the justice system in the country to investigate cases like that quickly and prosecute?
Onde que conhece que a justiça está mais efetiva do que em Moçambique? Onde?
Where is the legal system more effective than in Mozambique? Where? You may not answer because it's not the time to ask. But I would like to say it's relative. Because in Mozambique, we have so much freedom of speech. Everything that happens gets out. There are countries where things happen but don't get out. They don't allow it.
That was Mozambique's president, Filipe Nyusi, speaking to my colleague, Sophie Kenya.